Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sunset Riders. You know, I don't really feel like I have to say much for this intro part, because this kind of says it all. That's Steve. He just shot a dude. That's Billy. He shot two dudes, because he was smart and he brought two guns. That's Bob. Nobody cares about Bob. And that's Cormano, the only even slightly interesting character from his design. Everybody else kind of looks the same. And this is why they called the game Sunset Riders, because sunsets. No. Okay. Alright, so as you can see, this game is developed by Konami, and today, Dwight and I will be playing Sunset Riders. In this game, you play bounty hunters, and as you can see, we're going after someone for a bit of a reward. The controls are pretty simple. You can shoot pretty much any direction. If you're on top ledge right here, you can shoot down. And you can shoot diagonal, which is very important. I always love a game where you can shoot diagonal directions. It feels like you have more control, feels a little bit more realistic, but it's just, I don't know, it's a lot more fun. Those badges give you upgrades for your weapons. As you can see, sometimes they make you shoot a little bit faster, sometimes they give you two guns. Sometimes there's dynamite, and you have to be really careful of that. Oh no, here come the chickens. And what that means, Dwight, you gotta get up here. You're supposed to run across the bulls to safety. When I was a kid, I thought that was so cool. As you can see, you know, like when there's fire, oh, how did that catch me? Anyway, you can jump down into the water. And this, other than Bad Dudes, was one of the first games that I ever noticed had the double platform thing, where more or less, you know, you had two different platforms, areas you could jump, go back in between. More bulls. Those guys were not prepared. Oh, crap. Neither were we. There were more bulls. But anyway, as I was saying, you could, you know, go up and go down, and depending on what you chose was the danger level. Boss time. Alright, so as you can see, he has minions coming out on the left and the right, and then these two bottom windows. And he has the barrels, which somehow, even though he's a rather large dude, we can't shoot him past the barrels. Game logic, it's all good. And these barrels pretty much protect him until we can shoot them down. Okay, did not know that was going to happen. Alright, so the barrels protect him, and now we know not to stand under them. And yet I did it again. Okay, whatever. You're dead this time, dude. After the barrels are gone, this is a pretty simple pattern. You know, pretty much with any video game. So we're playing the arcade version of this game, which was released in 1991. It was later released on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive or whatever you want to call it, and the SNES. And the thing is, the reason we wanted to play the arcade version and not the other two versions is we realized that a lot of stuff was cut out of the other two versions, especially the Super Nintendo version. First of all, there are 8 levels in the arcade version. I doubt we'll get through all of them today. But there were 8 levels, and when they released the console versions, they kind of cut down the number of bosses, and apparently cut down on some of the levels too. Some of the women for the Super Nintendo version were they were covered up, and you know, Super Nintendo, or it's Nintendo, so I'm not totally surprised. Hey, that was a cool effect for 1991 right there. Oh, and a train! Yes! I like this horseback section. But also, the Native Americans. There were some apparently very offensive Native American caricatures. Like, one of the bosses I know is a pretty bad Native American caricature. And so they changed their names and replaced them with the typical bandits. Also, there are women you can shoot in this version. And apparently those women were replaced in both of the console versions. And the Sega Genesis version also took out some of the... There are bonus stages that you get after some of the stages, and apparently a lot of those were taken out. You know, I'm watching this, and there's just a lot going on. Like, I don't know, it's for a game, you know, an arcade game, 1991, you know, it was right before a lot of my favorite arcade games hit. And there's just a lot going on the screen. Alright, here we go. Boss fight number 2.
Draw, Pilgrim.
Of course he would say that. You know, this is Konami. I think it actually said that this is like their fantastic version of the American West, and I wonder if this is how much of this Japanese actually, as a company, you know, perceive as the real American West. I think that'd be kind of an interesting study. This boss has a little bit different of a pattern. He's going to move around more. He's got more boxes to hide behind. You would think between the two of us, though, we could keep him pretty well cornered, but you'd be wrong. This game does kind of have a fun and quirky sense of humor to it, with a lot of the one-liners and some of the character animations and everything. You can tell they had a lot of fun making this, and I have a lot of fun playing it. Like, you know, I played it when I was much younger, but just messing around with it with Dwight.
You got me.
Thank you. Just messing around with it with Dwight, I've actually just enjoyed just going back through it. Alright, here's the bonus stage, which I'm not actually fond of. This is just chaotic. There's almost too many directions. Ah, get him. There we go. Nice. I actually think Dwight's getting most of these. Oh wait, my score's higher. Hell yeah. Keep going. Yep, getting a little frantic here. Okay, that was that. Dark Horse. I like that you can go into the little areas and get different power-ups. I kind of wish they had done more power-ups. You know, maybe like other guns. I don't know. It would have made the game... I think it would have given a little bit more replay value to the games. Oh, crap. Saw that a little too late. Alright. It does have some interesting environmental stuff, not just like the dynamite, but the rock we just shot, and like I said, being able to go into the buildings. It was creative. They did a lot with what they had. I also heard that either the Super Nintendo, I don't think it was that one. I think the Sega version actually had a versus mode. Dude's just falling from the sky here. ducking is really important in this game. If you can't learn how to duck, you will die a lot. And thankfully they made the bullets multicolored and changing color so they stand out. Because there are some pretty colorful backgrounds, you know, here. This whole hanging from the wire thing here is actually kind of cool. It's a way to do the multi-level stages, but without using the exact same backgrounds and, you know, making it boring and repetitive. Luckily, because this is on the arcade, I gave us a bunch of quarters, if anybody's wondering. No reason for me to waste my money. Don't get me wrong, I used to love the arcades. When I was a kid, I would spend so much time in the arcades. Alright, come on, Mr. Stereotype, let's... Oh crap, he's charging. This just reminds me of when boss levels were actually kind of fun. Because you know, you could kind of move around, explore, find the sweet spots where to kind of take a breath. You know, sometimes you're like, do I shoot the guy or do I shoot the horse? You know, what do I have to kill off first? Stuff like that. It's not a very good explanation, but I think you get where I'm going with this. Come on, come on! This guy's taking a lot to kill. I also kind of want to go back through and play with one of the other characters that uses the rifles. I know it's telling us what to shoot there. I didn't see that at first. I also miss arcade days where the bad guy would blink faster and that's how you knew you were killing him. You didn't need to see a life bar. That's how you knew you were about to win. The faster he was blinking red.
Me in deep, big trouble.
Okay. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed my kind of laid back review of Sunset Riders. Oh.
You alright, ma'am?
Oh, those terrible men. Please help.
Alright, ma'am. Don't worry about it.
The adventure never ends.